on the clock. Finally together. Gosh, it's been a rough year, I take it, but pretty high levels of activity. I think it's coming down to it. Tomorrow's May, and
May 1st.
end of the leagues. I'm assuming all of the tournaments end in the month of May as well. So countdown's on. Uh, Obviously, we're going to be talking about Champions League, which today was amazing. I think
Great
everyone had a
game.
smile on their face watching that one. Uh, Europa League tomorrow, and I guess you're in conference tomorrow, Trent. All three of us
Yes,
are
sir.
alive and well in our tourneys.
Yeah, as crappy as the
Thursdays in
EPL
Europe are
is,
alive.
yeah, as crappy as the EPL is this season, we're doing all right in Europe. Arsenal's still in, beat Real Madrid, and then Man United's the only undefeated team in Europe. And then you still have Tottenham and Chelsea doing its thing.
Well,
Ch
go ahead.
Chelsea probably isn't going to play anybody competitive till the final, right?
Yeah, the team we're playing tomorrow is like seventh or eighth in the Swedish league right now. So,
Is this
um,
semifinal for you?
yeah, semifinals, same stage.
Okay. So we all
Yeah,
kind
you
of
would
feel like
think,
winners right now in this strange way.
Yeah.
yeah, we're holding on to Europe. We're holding on to Europe as long as we can because that's all we
Well, I
got.
mean,
I'm gonna I'm gonna dire Champions League race, but other than that, this season's been pretty shit.
how long ago was that last leg? Because that United game was so laughable, and it's like, uh, oh gosh, who was it? Roma? Who'd you play?
Leon?
Leon.
Leon,
And obviously Leon goes down a man, and they score two goals. They were up two goals on you, right? In at a time.
Hmm.
And then all hell broke loose. I mean, it's like, who saw that coming? And then, of course, the hero of the day is Harry Maguire. Fucking Frankenstein heads one in. And wow, that was insane.
Dude, Harry only scores winners. Like every time he scores, it's usually to win the game or it's to tie it up and at least get us a point or something. So he comes in clutch for whatever reason, at least over the last two, three seasons. Um, but yeah, that game was, I mean, I was texting you guys like this team, we just got destroyed by Newcastle 4-1, which was kind
Mhm.
of anticipated. You know, we haven't been playing well in the EPL at all, and Newcastle, I mean, was just ripping people at that point.
Mhm.
I think they were on like a 6 game EPL win streak or something. And so I anticipated that it was going to be a 2-0, 3-0. The fact that we scored was a little bit of a bonus, but yeah, they more than handled us, even with a backup goalkeeper. Um, but yeah, so right off the back of that, we decided to, get a 2 goal lead and then in 7 minutes give up that 2 goals, and then to 10 men in the extra time, give up two more goals, and then for whatever reason score three in the last 7 minutes and, walk out winners, which was absolutely ridiculous. And I do want to add, it could have all been avoided had Garnacho put away his chance in like
Yeah.
the 50th minute,
Yeah.
literally 5 minutes into the second half. He had a one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper. He sat down, whatever defensive player was on him, sat him down, had a one-on-one, kicked it right at the keeper. Had he done that and we're up 3-0 with 40 minutes to go, I don't see Leon even
Well,
scoring three
that
goals.
name
So
surfaces quite often on this show. And it's that he misses. He can't finish the deal for the most part. Always in good positions or for the most part, and comes up short when it comes to closing the deal.
yeah,
So
thankfully lately he's actually been creating some chances because
yeah,
he's learning to do a cutback pass.
yeah.
So that's actually been good. Nobody on United knows how to put away anything to save their life, other than Bruno sometimes. So all the chances that Bruno and Garnacho have created go wasted. But yeah, Garnacho pretty much has everything to an extent other than the finished product. So maybe he could
Yeah.
do that one day, but I mean, we the way United are, we can't really hold our breath and wait for him. We need results now. So I don't know
Yeah.
if he's going to make it to next season. We'll see.
Well,
ship him out, ship him out.
ship
They
him
might.
out.
They just
We
might.
talked about that. He'll be good somewhere. He'll fit
Yeah,
somewhere in
exactly.
Spain.
That's what
Change or
happens.
whatever.
McTominay has like 12 goals and 4 assists for Napoli. Antony looks
Oh
completely
yeah.
rejuvenated. I mean, people leave. I mean, look at Mkhitaryan at Inter. Like he's revived his career, at other places. So yeah, a lot of players once they leave United, they just I mean, Rashford, he's put in I think I saw 11 assists and like 4 or 5 goals for Aston Villa. So
Now he's out.
I
For the
know,
rest
yeah,
of
he got injured, I saw.
it.
But yeah, it seems like, United's just such a mess. You just can't really do very well there. So hopefully
Well,
Ineos and Amram could turn it around, at least from my perspective. You guys would probably disagree, but
I think it's we're headed for the Europa League final, Spurs United. And I say that because we're both so bad in the league. Beating Lyon, I don't care how it happened. That's a good win. We went to Frankfurt and won. That's a really good
that
win.
is a good win.
And so in Europe, it seems like we're finding the steel and the balls to win, but the league has just been awful. Trent, luckily, is playing Legia Warsaw and in the Europa Conference, and somehow are you guys fifth in the league?
Currently, yes.
That's just
We
crazy
it,
talk.
it
I
it it
mean,
depends on who wins each weekend, but yeah, we
right.
we go from third live result to sixth in a heartbeat. So we have no room for error in any of this at the moment.
Yeah. So
Speaking
yeah,
of speaking of your game though, Dave, I heard you guys actually pretty well controlled that match against Frankfurt in Germany.
yeah,
I didn't watch, but I
it
heard.
was we were so confident and just did what we had to do. And God Almighty, as soon as we got, not that we were going to beat Liverpool, but as soon as we got into league matches, the Forest, which again, that's Forest at home, and you hope we pull it out. We lost, and that's not the worst thing in the world. But the way it's happening is just mind-boggling. I can't, I don't know. The guys don't even know what they're trying to do. But then they'll go into to Frankfurt and play a game where they put it together. And I don't understand this. It's like they just all of a sudden decide they're going to play out of the back slowly, and uh, there's nobody open in the midfield because they're playing out of the back slowly and they're bad at it. So we're covered when we try to do anything. And it just is, I just can't wrap my head around it because it seems the word I'm looking for is capable. It seems like we're capable, and we show that we're capable one out of every four matches. And that one match may be against a decent team. It's like, well, why did we do that? And I used to think it's because of the other team's formation. Now I think I can't put a finger on it. So,
Don't you think too, though? I mean, it's United and Tottenham and even Chelsea to an extent, just showing that in Europe, especially when you're not playing the elite teams of Europe, you just have a little bit more time on the ball. You run into players and teams that maybe just aren't as quick, aren't as physical, aren't as technical, and that just makes a big difference over,
now
two
that's a good
matches
point. That's a
or over
really good
group
point.
stages
EPL's
versus
fast.
the Prem. I mean, I think almost every team except maybe the bottom three, they're pretty physical, pretty fast. They don't give you a lot of
Yeah.
time on the ball. United have lost matches just straight up to set pieces. People are just more creative on set pieces, and United are just
Yeah.
ridiculously bad at defending them. I think those things all of it comes into play when it comes to the Prem.
Ah, that's a great point. I never really took it outside of the Prem or inside the Prem, but that's so true. And we've seen it over the course of the years, like even when West Brom was up there, if they decide to play back and physical and make it difficult on you, it's a different match than if you go to Bodo Glimt. Segue.
They have a plast or a astroturf, don't they? It's not real
Bodo
grass.
Glimt?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, luckily the first leg's at home, but apparently they've got some players suspended. They got some players hurt. Um, Hopefully that helps, but that doesn't mean shit to me because you can't predict what team's going to show up. I mean,
You,
hopefully it's like the Euro team that, like you said, when we play European teams, we show up. But they went to Lazio and won. I mean,
yeah.
that's a cakewalk.
United United played them in November and we won 3-2, and I think it was at Old Trafford. So they gave us a game whenever we played them.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, Europa League is actually kind of hot. I mean, Trent, quite frankly, if you win Europa Conference, that's at this point it's still something. I mean, we're like I said, league play has been so poor, at least for Alan and I, that you just look for some little piece of magic to grab onto that makes your season at least have one little nice blip on the radar.
Yeah, we're in the top five, six, whatever you want to say, but since January we've been in about the bottom half, so it hasn't been great lately. So yeah, we need to win this conference league bullshit that we're stuck in um, to qualify to make sure we qualify for Europe because who knows what the hell is going to happen in the Premier League because we still have Newcastle, Forest, Liverpool,
Oh, jeez.
and United to play, and you never know
Oh,
what happens in
goodness.
that one. So
What a finish. What a
yeah,
club.
it's quite. We finish at Forest on the final day, so that could be literally for the last European spot,
we
depending
play
on what we do
We
here.
play Aston Villa as well, so that could help determine what happens in
Yeah,
the Champions
well,
League spots also.
definitely watching that as well. So yeah, we play a lot of teams that could decide our fate if we screw this Conference League thing up. But yeah, this Swedish team we're playing tomorrow, I don't know anything about them other than that they're mid-table Sweden. Their season just started due to the weather, I believe. They take a break from the really cold months, so I think their seasons just kind of get going. There's maybe 6 or 7 matches in. Um, if you go get 2, 3 goals there, you should feel comfortable going back home and advancing. And then you might run into somebody like Anthony at Real Betis, and then you actually have a match on your hands.
Yeah, I
So
mean, Fiorentina is good too. So even though
yeah,
it's conference, the teams you may end up against, they're not pushovers.
right. And Chelsea, we just talked about their form and what they've been doing since January, and it's not been great. So we
Why
can't overlook anybody at the moment.
why the fall off since January?
Who knows?
It's not
Teams get
injuries or anything.
now we're pretty well. That does have an effect. Our midfield's not been fully healthy basically all year, but it is what it is. Everybody's dealing with injuries. I don't know. Maresca Ball didn't really graduate from anything the first 3 months, and when you play everybody again, they saw what you did the first time, and they know who to stop and what you're doing. And there's not many guys scoring goals. I guess Nico Jackson got hurt for a while. Yeah, he was out for about a month. So yeah, that definitely affected our play. I will admit that.
He
But
scored
there's
against Everton over the weekend, right?
yeah, he had a great
Yeah.
goal. Thank God, because you kind of forget what he can do when he's off the field, and how much he does affect the team play. But at the end of the day, we're still a really, really, really young team and really inexperienced. And it's
You're the
first year
youngest, I
manager.
think, in the
Yeah,
Prem.
I mean, still are. So still a team that doesn't really know who they are, and we're still buying young kids. So
You're trying
uh,
to get younger and younger, I think, like 14
seems
year
that
olds,
yeah,
12-year olds.
12-year-olds down to 10. Yeah, we're going to the U11s. Probably somewhere in the world, I guarantee it. But no,
Um,
yeah, if we can qualify through Conference League, I'll feel safe. I don't know what the dates are for that. I would imagine they might be after the Prem's over, so we might not be able to mail it in whatsoever.
Europa's not. I think the Europa final is the week of the final
May 28th.
is the Wednesday before. Isn't that the Wednesday before the final weekend for Prem?
I'm looking right now. May 28th is the
Final day of
Europa
the
Conference.
okay. Final
And
day of the Prem's the 25th, Sunday.
yeah, so it'll be after.
Okay. Yeah, so we still have a lot to play for. We have to win basically here on out, and have some results go our way. I don't know if I trust Forest. It's been a great story this year in the Prem, but do they kind of tail off
The
in
Europa
league
final is
play?
May 21st.
Yeah, it's on a Wednesday. How
Yeah.
Interesting.
typical.
What was your Forest question?
I'm kind of lumping us with them on who's going to get one of these final spots. I think City, Newcastle, Arsenal, Liverpool. I think those are going to be your top four, and then I think it's between us and Forest, and Villa. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Then you're Europa League winner.
Right, exactly. So, and then you guys come into play, and then if Crystal Palace somehow win the FA Cup, they come into play for Europa League.
Yeah.
So there's a shit ton left to play
Yeah.
for.
So there we
Other than the
go.
fact that Liverpool ran away with the league, uh,
Yeah.
spots what 3 through 8 are pretty exciting still to watch.
Yeah, relegation battle's over, title's over.
Hmm.
You're down to who the alphabet soup of who's going to get into the to Europe next year. And I mean, it would be laughable if Spurs got into Champions League for next year. Granted, we'll probably have a new manager, but still, I mean, I guess to transition, watching today's match in particular, one
Oh
word,
man,
one word, quality.
quality. Yep.
Quality.
Yep.
And I'm thinking about watching Spurs. I'm like, they're horrendous. Not only because they're my team and they disappoint me and make me sad. You watched, granted, it's Barcelona and Inter, some of the worldies, right? Unbelievable though. These guys, they're all over the place. They're exciting. They're not one-trick ponies.
Hmm.
God, it's just I'm so envious. I watched that today. It was so enlightening. It's like the game that I love. I got to watch it today
Yep.
because there's so much shit going on right now with everybody trying to fit into a system, trying to play something, then firing a manager, and then it's like start over again. Well, who are you? What's your identity? These guys are fully formed with who they are, and it's beautiful.
Two
Yeah,
different styles and two deep squads with good managers. So you're just like,
Yeah.
I'll take your punch. You're going to take mine. And yeah, a 3-3 result.
at the
What more
Camp
could you
Nou,
ask for?
that's really
Yeah,
big
I
for
mean,
Inter. Yeah, I saw a United creator I follow who was like having to move on from Yamal and Pedri ball to Garnacho and Hoyland ball tomorrow, and he just shook
Yeah.
his head. I was like, yeah, it's a good point. It's not even close to the same level,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
unfortunately.
So Inter may take them down. I mean, obviously they've got the home leg now. And I mean, Barca, it's going to be great. It's a good problem to have if you're either fan, really. And then Arsenal, PSG, that one was pretty chippy. Could have gone either way, to be honest. Could have been 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, you name it. Um, PSG got the early goal, and that helped, obviously. But that will be an exciting second leg.
Yeah, Donnarumma
Yeah, I
gave
think
us
if you're
huge
Arsenal,
saves.
oh my God, that guy's unbelievable.
He's
We're,
unbelievable.
he's also like 6'9", so that helps.
Him and Courtois are just huge in goal.
They make the goal look small, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
But their
I think Arsenal's
anticipation of
good.
shots, the way they anticipate the angle
Oh
and the
yeah.
shot coming is just unreal.
Oh yeah.
A lot of good Italian keepers out there. Not Vicario, but historically there's some good ones.
Usually, yeah. I think Arsenal feels pretty all right though.
Yeah,
If you're gonna lose, that's about as good as a loss you can take at home. And they had a lot of guys missing. Havertz was out. Who's the
Partey was
defender that
out.
was out? Yeah, Thomas Partey was out.
Califourier or
California was
however you
out.
say his
Yep.
they're
name.
all
So
injured or what? Or suspended.
I think two of them were suspended, I
I don't
believe,
know.
and one was injured, or vice versa. But I believe two of the expected, guys that starters are coming back next week. Which I believe would be Partey and Havertz, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
But we'll see. I mean, like Dave said, it was kind of 50-50. It wasn't really a blowout from PSG. They scored that early one, but Arsenal had that set piece goal that was just a touch offside. It was a hell of a play they drew up. They kind of showed their hand though, so I don't think they can run that one again. So unfortunately for them, it was offside, but 1-0. You gotta like their chances to at least get a goal away next week. So who knows? Who knows?
That ref had a rough game. I thought Arsenal were lucky not to give away a penalty, and then I thought PSG was lucky to also not have one given against them. So I didn't think he had the best game, but I think on the night, I think PSG deserves probably the 1-0 win or the 2-1 win, if the PKs were given and go
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Um,
Georgian is
but
that the guy that made the cut through the box and got like I
yeah,
guess he didn't sell it well. He embellished.
Right.
it
That's
was
why it didn't get called.
yeah, it was embellished, but you could tell that Timber intentionally stuck his arm against him and pulled it just for a
Yeah,
second. But yeah, I agree. I
he needs to
mean,
get better
maybe
actor.
arguably was it, enough contact to really bring him to ground? Yeah. Yeah.
The still photos are always going to make it look worse than it is in the slow-mo replay, but like Dave
Yeah.
says, if you get wrapped up like that, you got to go down. You're hell, you're European. You guys invented that crap hardly, so
Yeah.
Right.
go
Yeah.
go down.
I was impressed with Arsenal's turnaround though, because they were getting dominated for the first 20 minutes and then they just took it right back. I don't know. I'm guessing Arteta saw whatever PSG was doing, made some sort of tactical shift, and it changed everything. And then all of a sudden we had a pretty good back and forth game after that.
It's
If
nice
that,
to see in the semifinal as well. I mean,
oh
that's
yeah, quality. Quality. I think we would see almost the same sort of games and quality regardless of the matchups, whether it was Arsenal and Barcelona or Inter and, Arsenal or however you want to switch it around. I think we'd see, this sort of same quality football out there, which is good. I think, maybe probably the four best teams have made it.
hmm Yeah, Inter keeps finding their way in there. I think their manager's just smart enough to get it done and their players are good enough. So, I mean,
I've always really liked Summer, the Inter
oh
goalkeeper.
man,
He's
he
always
had a
been
nice
really good. He
nice game today.
he came from Germany, but I'm forgetting which squad he was with in Germany for so long.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was. He could have been at Leverkusen, I suppose, but
I don't think it was Leverkusen, but yeah, I just went blank. But yeah, I've always really respected his
Swiss
game.
guy.
Thought he was
Yeah.
At
good.
Bayern Munich for a year. Before that, he was at Mönchengladbach.
Oh,
Gladbach,
okay.
that's right. Yeah.
Good Lord, he's been a pro since '07.
Yeah, he's been in the Swiss national team forever. I mean,
Yep, Swiss national team since yeah 2012. Good Lord, congrats, Jan.
by the
Yeah.
way, sneak peek ahead to Saturday. We can keep talking about Champions League, but Leicester and Southampton.
Oh,
Wow.
now that's a game we
That's
should
for
all tune in
all
for.
the marbles.
That's right.
Who's picking that one up on network TV there? Good Lord.
Yeah, that
Probably
might get
USA, and they'll put everything else on Peacock. So
The only thing you're looking forward to in that match is like Vardy pulling his pants down and showing his balls or something like that when he scores. Because
what
other than
is it he
that, there's not
did?
going to be
He's
a damn
apologizing
thing.
for something. What's he in trouble for?
He basically, are you talking about his message to the Leicester fans?
Yeah.
It's basically sorry for us being such shit all
Oh,
year.
okay. I thought he
yeah.
individually did something.
No, I think his words were sorry for this being this was like a shit show of an organization this year or something like that.
Wasn't
There's
that
rumors of
wasn't that with his announcement of retirement?
yeah, or leaving the club
Leaving the
like this
club?
is his
Yeah.
final. Yeah, I think because he still has intentions to play. I would love that guy to come to MLS. Could you imagine him just
Oh, that'd be
shit
great.
housing on a Tuesday night in Columbus or something like
Against
that?
Messi. I would love him to do that
Oh,
stuff against Messi. That'd be amazing.
100
How many prems do
he
you
would
have,
he would eat
Messi?
that up. He would
Ah,
eat that up. He'd be going in hard on Suarez and random shit like that. Like
I
bring
want
him
to see
over. He
you.
he would get views.
He would be like, I want to see you do that on a Tuesday night in Stoke. I don't think so, buddy.
Like that's where I'm from, asshole. I've done that.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
amazing.
I've already. Yeah, Dave. I'll skip that one though on Saturday. I don't know if you're going to tune in
no, I just, it's for the kids.
for the kids.
Um, Tomorrow we got Forest and Brentford. That should be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Brentford's no pushover.
Go Brentford.
you never know they're a tough one to bet on. I think they
They are.
can get popped 3 or 4 to 1, or they could beat somebody that you don't expect. So
I'll take
Brighton's kind
some.
of in that same area.
Yeah, I'll take some Wissa Magic tomorrow and
Yeah,
a 2-1 Brentford win. How about that?
There you
yeah, that'd
go.
be all
I
right.
need it. I need it as a Chelsea fan. We need it.
Dave, what? Oh, you guys played Liverpool, that's right,
Woo!
and gave them the league on Sunday. Good job.
Wow,
Good
it
job,
was
Dave.
so bad. I mean, I can't stress enough how many times we make the same mistakes. I told somebody before, I think it was the first goal. I said, "You watch, we're awful at corners. We'll parry it out or we'll push it out. It'll go right to a player who's going to either knock it in or find somebody to put it in." Bingo, happened. It is just so. That's why you question hands. It used to be for how many months we could fall back on our injuries excuse. We had 12 injuries of key players. Now you can't use that one. And they're not going through the middle. Bergvall's a great player who we just re-signed, but he's not connecting with Madison or Bentancur in the middle. And we're trying our best to get it up the pitch, and half the time it gets out to a winger. And there's just not any ingenuity going into it, or everything's predictable. And all Ange wants is a tap in goal. He doesn't want anybody just winding up with their laces, blasting it, running onto the ball into space. It's all how can we get either to the line or into these tricky little pockets and tap it in. There's
I feel it's a lot of
no,
pe yeah,
give me some freaking
yep.
just hammers. Go for it. If you're outside the box,
Like
nothing's
Rafinha
working.
today.
Maybe it'll
Exactly.
deflect in. It's so lame. I'm so done with it.
The Premier League has had more teams switch to that style than any other that I feel like I've seen in
Oh,
in in the world.
Do you guys think it's
And
because of Pep?
'cause I don't know. I feel I watch the same shit every week as well. It's just like get it down the side. I think I sent you guys a thing of there's not really wingers taking anybody on anymore. They'll they'll walk it down the sideline and they'll pass it back or just take the safe pass back or a
yes.
side pass.
Yep.
Nobody's taking anybody on and there's no creativity. Like bring
Right.
back the wingers that went at you and we're gonna take you on. So what if they screw up a dribble once or twice? You know, they get picked once or twice. Maybe the next time they go create a damn chance, but we don't see that anymore, and it's crazy and it's mind-boggling. Everybody wants it right perfectly in the 6 yard box for a little
That's the
tap in
deal.
or
Perfect. It's
a
not
back post run or a cutback ball. And I'm just like,
perfection, is just that they're waiting. We half the time we've got on a break, we wait for our team to get up there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
well, we don't really know what to do unless we have all our guys. It's sad. And
I'm
so yeah,
with you.
I'm on board with him going. It sounds like even if we won Europa League, he's out. I mean, that's just not coming from the Daily Mirror or shit like that. It's coming from the people that usually are pretty spot on. The Italian guy, I forget his name, that always has the scoop, but um,
Fabrizio.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what
Romano,
I
whatever.
heard. They were pretty much keeping him because you guys are doing, well in the Europa, and so they want to see how that kind of ends. But yeah, he probably would have been let go maybe a month or so
Oh,
ago had
without a
you guys
doubt.
not progressed in Europe.
Well, we already made that mistake of firing Mourinho before a cup final, and
That was bad.
that
That
was a
was bad.
monetary thing. I mean, that was Levy, surprise, surprise, making a monetary move.
No, Dave, that was Spursy.
Ryan Mason debut, baby.
Oh gosh, there's just so many bad memories, and we keep making them.
I
So
don't I
So
don't know of
what?
another I don't know of another squad the day before or the week before a final goes, you know what? This serial winner manager we have, we should fire him the week of this final. It's probably a good idea. It'll work out. I'm guessing Levy just got so tired of his crap. He's like, just get out. Just leave. We're done.
yeah, I mean,
Had to be that.
I was kind of done with him too, but yeah, the timing was very ridiculous. Yeah, so I don't have a lot of positive news other than this Champions League. These matches seem to appeal to hopefully a wider range of people than just people who are going to watch to begin with. It was on the big CBS.
It's
So
pretty cool.
you guys, let's pick the final. Who do you guys think's going through for
Mm,
Arsenal and PSG? The next game is in Paris, and they have the 1-0 lead. So
God, I still say PSG, and I'm going to be partial to them, but I mean, obviously they're at home and they're very capable. I don't know. I'm just picking PSG because I don't want Arsenal to go through.
I
Truth
feel
be
you.
told.
Yeah, Dembele, they said he's doubtful. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Yeah, I think he
If
pulled up
he's
yesterday and came out. Oh,
if
Barcola had to come on.
if he's hurt, that could change things for me. But yeah, PSG's already up a goal and they're going home. You gotta think they advance.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like a 1-1 draw in Paris, and PSG will go through.
I could see something like that too. I don't know about like a 3-1 PSG home win, but depends who's healthy.
Yeah,
TBD. I don't know.
yeah.
And
I
Partey's
would
back
say
for Arsenal, so that kind of changes things for them. That means Rice doesn't really have to sit back as much. and maybe Trossard doesn't play a false nine again like he tried or attempted to. So it could change things just depending on who's available, big time.
Some of the chances Arsenal got, I thought PSG looked a little bit naive at the back at
Yeah.
how they were playing.
And
Because
Martinelli have a couple chances.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Arsenal
Martinelli
had
should
some
put one
good
home.
chances. Yeah, Arsenal had some good chances. All
That's
right,
Arsenal
so
still alive, man. Still very,
Yeah.
very much alive.
who do we got for the other half? Who do you guys
I
think goes
say
through?
that's definitely going to PKs. And I say that because Inter has proven themselves the last couple of years in these matches. They're at home. Obviously, Barcelona is capable of taking down anyone, but I think that one's going to be intense. So I'd say 1-1. And it's not going to be as open as this, I don't think anyway, as this match that we just saw. I think they'll both adjust a little bit, and there's a lot more at stake now that we're down to it. I'd say 1-1 PKs, and
I like your
I
draw
say
thought.
Barca
Yeah,
goes through.
What do you think,
say
Trent?
Barca goes through on PKs. Whew. I like the draw idea. I do. It's tough. It's gonna be a tough place to go win. Um, I think there's gonna be goals again. Inter had some set piece goals. I'm watching highlights right now. But Barca has the damn brilliance that just can come out of nowhere that no other player can produce, and three or four guys for Barca can do that. So, whew, that's a tough one. I think PKs as well. I think Milan advances on PKs.
Oh wow. I'm
Well,
gonna
I think I said
say,
last week. I think I said last week the Bayern Inter winner. I was like, don't sleep on that one, because I might pick them to go to the final or whenever we did the last Zoom at Skinnies or not Zoom podcast at Skinnies.
yeah.
I was like, I'm not sleeping on that side because those two teams, if they can get to the the match to the atmosphere to that occasion, they're tough to beat.
So I'm gonna say Barcelona 2-1 goes through. Partially because I think they were still a little drunk from their Copa del Rey win. And
yeah,
that was 120 minutes against their arch rival. You know, they had like
I like
emotional
that.
highs. They had to come down off of that. It was probably tough to go, turn around and play a big Champions League. So I'm going to say they play the worst team in La Liga this weekend. So they probably rest a lot of people and just take a bit of a break. Although, where are they in La Liga
They're
currently?
leading.
By
They're
4.
leading.
So they do have a little bit of room. So even if they lost, which is highly unlikely against this bottom feeder team,
Real
Valladolid,
Valladolid.
Valladolid,
I probably
Valladolid,
butchered that.
yeah, Valladolid.
Sorry, Spanish speakers. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think Barca will
Yeah.
come in well rested and Interplay Verona, who's not great, but they're not
I
bottom
think they're
of the
bottom.
table.
Yeah, they're not
So
anything.
anyway, yeah, I'm gonna say Barcelona. I would love to see PSG and Barcelona. I think they've been the two most consistent teams in the Champions League this season. So I would really like to see them play each other in a final. I think it'd be a good one.
Yeah, that we haven't seen that, I don't think. So, I mean, obviously two very, very big clubs as well. Universally, I think everyone would want to see that. So,
It'd be Dembele versus his old team if that
Yeah.
yep.
happened.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
intense
Alan, I,
stuff.
I like your thought on the Saturday matchup for Barca. It'll be interesting to see who they do line up. It is away, but like you said, it's a lower sided team. It'll be interesting to see who they play. Because Yamal, did you see the headline that he pulled up in warmups today?
Yeah.
It was like right before kickoff, and old Fabrizio was like, "Lamine Yamal has been injured in warmups, yada yada." So
Didn't
you might
see
not see
that
him and
game.
Martinez pulled up
Rafinha
during the
on the
game.
week is yeah. I mean, yep, that's true too. So the
He's
weekend
out there
lineups
doing
will be
pirouettes. That's
will,
all I know.
will be interesting. Madrid's got a home match Sunday morning. They're in second place, right behind Barca, and it's against Celta Vigo, who's not a bad side at all.
They're
So
demoralized too. Getting popped by
yeah,
Arsenal and
exactly.
then getting beat in the Copa del Rey. I mean, they're gonna have to find a way to pull up their britches.
Yep. And
Oh man.
Rudiger's out for the season, so yeah, Real Madrid. We could see an epic collapse by them, or they could get their
Who'd you
shit
say
figured
was
out,
out?
and Rudiger's out for the rest of the
Oh my
season.
God.
Yep.
They El Clasico happens again on May 11th in
Yeah,
like
for the
two
league.
weeks. That's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah, for the league. You know Real Madrid will be amped up for that.
So these two
Um,
weeks are huge for La Liga. Yeah.
it's in Barcelona though.
That's
Man,
big. That's
that's
big.
wild.
That
Um,
is big.
Kind of
yeah.
exciting now. We're coming down to stuff, actually. Even when Europa League is exciting, just because, like I said, our teams play better in Europe than they do in the league, and
Yeah,
there's
it's semifinal time, baby. These are
trophies
big matches these
trophies
days.
to be had. Kind of excited right now. So we are the world.
The
Where you watching tomorrow, Dave?
Oh, not around people. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, what's your
Uh,
prediction for tomorrow, Dave? What do you got?
oh my God, we're at home. Well, I have to say, even though I question how we play sometimes, how could you not get up for the home leg of a semifinal? Just from a mindset point of view, you would think we would be on fire and really want it more than we've wanted any game all year. So I think
This is all Tottenham and United are playing for right now, or
I would
is
say
Europe?
2-1 Spurs. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but I think hopefully we have more energy than we've been showing. Like I said, the Frankfurt game, we played well, but again, you don't know what you're going to get with us, and that's the X factor. But I'll still say 2-1.
One thing of note here, boys. Bodo Glimt is like what, 4 matches into their season so far,
That's so weird.
correct? So they
That's
might not
wild.
be up to snuff right now, Dave. Who knows? Although they did go get the result at Lazio, but just something. I don't know, man.
If I remember correctly, watching them and from the highlights of the Lazio tie, I think they play pretty darn well as a team. They're not one superstar or one really good player. Like they play well as a team, and different people pop up at different moments to create the
I got
goals or
dudes
make the
hurt.
goals. So,
Well,
oh
that's what I was
well, that
getting
could
I got
off
change
some
on.
dudes
things.
They've
hurt
got
though. Yeah.
Yeah, if people
suspensions
are
and they've
injured,
got injuries.
yeah, that could change things
Yep.
then. But I mean, you
This
can't.
Norwegian guy Patrick Berg, the Norwegian. Is he center mid? What is he? I don't even know. Yeah, he's a center mid. He's their best player, and he's hurt right now.
Hmm.
Okay.
From what I heard on the radio today. So they're fresh into their season, and they're not exactly healthy at the moment. So Spurs, if they get an early lead, you guys could put a thrashing on them. I'm not
They're
gonna
they're
lie.
without three players due to suspension, including Berg and another starting midfielder, and an injury list. They have two more that added to the injuries. It's about five people, five starters out. So,
So
which is a
Tottenham will lose 2-1 then, right?
that's the deal. When you have that good of a setup, that's why they call it a setup. But I'll stick with my 2-1, but we could be laughing and at our little projection we just made and maybe speaking and praying, and then I'm praying about leg two up in Norway. It'll probably
On the
snow.
AstroTurf field they have.
Good grief.
Yeah, I don't think they can produce real grass up there. I don't know.
Well,
I'm talking
You're
out my
right.
butt. I
You're
have no
probably
idea.
right. No, you're especially this. Yeah, it's springtime. Probably not. The
Yeah.
frozen tundra.
Yeah, right. Um,
so you
yeah,
guys are where are you at, Alan? Are you away or home for the first leg?
we're away. We're at Bilbao.
And they're hosting the final, right?
Yeah, so they have extra motivation to try and go
Good
through.
Lord.
Holy.
And they're not having that bad of a season in La Liga. I mean, they're not great, but they're not doing that bad. So they're not 14th, I'll put it that way. They're fourth. So they're doing pretty well in a tough league.
These
Um,
Spanish teams find a way into these Europa League finals. Sevilla, Valencia. Now we're looking at, Betis in the conference. Yeah, they always find their way.
when United won in 2016, I think under Jose, we played. It might have been Celta Vigo. It might have been Real Sociedad. We played somebody in the semifinals, and we were at Old Trafford,
Probably
and
Sevilla.
yeah, it could have been Sevilla. What was his name? Aspags? Aspas.
Diego Aspas.
He's been playing as a striker forever. He had a
Yeah,
chance.
yeah,
I
yeah.
swear it was him or one of their forwards, but I thought it was him. He had a chance at Old Trafford, and had he scored it, it would have ended up. I mean, it was in like the 89th minute or something. The game would have probably ended up as a draw, but they would have gone through on away goals. And somehow, I mean, United got so lucky he missed it. It went by the side post and was, I mean, it was a clear shot. I don't think he had
I remember
anybody.
that.
He had to try and beat De Gea maybe, but he put it wide. And I was like, that's like the luckiest break we could have got because we weren't playing, we played well over the whole match, but that last 15 minutes, they really took it to us. And yeah, we got pretty lucky. But yeah, to your point, Dave, it always seems like there are Spanish teams in all these European uh, competitions in the semifinals or the finals. They're just able to do well in these you know cup matchups. But yeah, I mean, we don't have necessarily a great history playing in Spain, United. Um,
Hmm.
lately though, like a couple years ago, we beat Barcelona in Barcelona, which was big in Europa. We beat Real Sociedad already earlier um, this season in Europa. So hopefully the trend continues. If I had to make a prediction, I would probably just say 1-1. We've been doing pretty well at nullifying people's attacks. The last, I want to say, 4 games in the league, which include City, uh, Bournemouth. Who else did we play? Well, okay, not Newcastle.
Right.
We got destroyed, but against Forest, City, Bournemouth and Wolves, we've only allowed 1 or 2 shots on target the entire match. We ended up losing against Wolves because we just couldn't score to save our lives. Same with Forest. Forest got, 1 goal, 1 shot on target, and it was a goal.
What they do.
But all I'm saying is we're nullifying on the defensive side of things fairly well. The problem is the other end. We just can't score
Right.
consistently at all. So, yeah, I mean, if I was to pick, I would say I'd be hopeful and happy with a 1-1 tomorrow. So we shall see, though. Those Williams brothers could just run rampant because Dallow's out. We'll probably have to play Mazzarari at wingback, which he does okay, especially defensively. He just doesn't offer much going forward. But the good
Boy,
news,
I think he was the one in against Spurs, and I thought he looked horrible. Of course, that was one match, but
yeah, he's actually been probably consistently like if you were to rate players, a 7 throughout the
okay.
season. He's done pretty well considering United are awful most games in the league. Um, But the good news for us today was Ahmad was back in training and Delit was back in training. So I don't know that they would be available tomorrow. They might be on the bench. But if they could be available for the second leg next week, that would be huge.
Yeah,
So
something to look
I know
forward
Bilbao
to.
doesn't give up they don't give up a whole lot of goals. They've got Unai Simon, who was at Real Madrid.
hmm,
I don't know if you remember him. He was the keeper that subbed in for Courtois when Courtois was out for a while. And then Courtois came back for that final, and Simon was the guy they sat for Courtois' injured ass to go back in.
yeah.
So they're pretty good defensively. If yeah, I agree with you. If United gets a 1-1, that's big time for them
Huge.
because then you guys go back home and that place semifinal and anything could freaking happen, dude. So if you guys
I'm
get out of there 1-1, that's like I that's not awesome, but of course you
Been a
want to go
struggle for
win.
United
But
at home, though.
yeah, you don't know what you're
yeah,
gonna
but I
get.
think in a semi, I mean,
You're right.
yeah,
No,
go
I mean it's a
ahead.
great, it's a favorable spot to be in. But
Yep. And
I'm
after
cu-
that Lyon extravaganza you guys had, who knows?
I'm curious how they're gonna play though, because with the Williams brothers and the speed that they have for their forwards, if they sit back and play like a Forest and just let us kind of have the ball and dink and dunk and try to figure something out, there's gonna be a couple of moments where United players are just stupid and one pushes too far up or one, makes a bad pass and they are just gonna sprint on us. And if they play that way, I mean, they could definitely walk out 2-3-0 and we don't score at all, and then we're in real trouble going back to Old Trafford. Um, I'm not saying I don't know. I haven't studied them enough, so I don't know exactly how they're going to
right.
play. But if they decide to play that way, I could see it being problematic. I think still for United, a little bit of chaos, like the Lyon game provided, we seem to kind of strive in a little bit better. So if they play a certain way where it's a little bit more, open, then we could maybe take some chances.
Well, that
But
forces you to create because now you're not just playing pass, 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 or at a slower pace. If it's chaotic, I like that for Spurs too,
yeah,
because now we've got to actually move our ass and do something and not do exactly what our robotic heads are telling us we're supposed to do.
yeah.
So, and I welcome it.
All right.
They're
So
not scoring much at the moment, Alan. I will say I'm looking up at their FOP mob right now.
yeah,
They only beat Rangers in that two leg was 2-0. It was 0-0 away at Rangers, and they beat them 2-0 at home. Real Madrid beat them 1-0 recently. They won their home leg La Liga 1-0.
the
Before
real
that,
the Real
bunch of
Madrid one,
0-0s.
the Real
So,
Madrid one, they subbed a bunch of players out for that game against Real Madrid, and Real Madrid
oh
only
really?
won because Valverde hit like a ridiculous volley in like the
Right.
90th minute. So they
Before that, it looks
still
like they had a bunch of 0-0s in league. So that's what,
interesting.
man, who knows?
Interesting. Well, then maybe my 1-1 or maybe
Yeah,
even if we got a 0-0, if we ended up with a draw, I'd be fine with
yeah,
that. And I
I
would
agree.
trust that at home, the fans would push them on. Um, Trent, how much is Chelsea going to win by tomorrow? Four, five, six?
No, I've got a hot take. It'll probably be 2-1. It'll be a boring 1-0 first half. We're going to score right outside of the halftime, and then we'll give up some dumb shit goal in the 80th minute and have to hold on for our dear lives in Stockholm, Sweden.
Does
And then
does
who knows after
Maresca
that?
does Maresca play a stronger team than he has been in the Conference League, or do you think he keeps a rotated squad?
That's tough because we played Liverpool on Sunday, and like I said, every match matters. But I think at this point, you've got to start at least like the Palmer, the Maduekis, the Enzo, the Caicedos, certain part of your spine you got to start, and you can maybe rotate a winger or two. But if it's for me, I'm starting 8 or 9 starters tomorrow for sure, just to
And you
start off with
you
first
might get
half, and
lucky.
then
Liverpool may not play their strong squad anymore because what do they care? You know?
that's what I'm not sure of, man. I mean, you never know with a team who wraps it up that early what they do. I mean, shit, what is there? 4 matches left in the
Yeah,
league,
four.
so
Yeah, just four.
Why
do
am
they
I
want
just
to?
now learning about these Scandinavian teams just starting the season like a month and a half ago? I
It's
have no,
wild,
that
man.
makes
Yeah,
no sense. I'm
we're in
sure
the
it
same
does
boat.
from a
It,
weather standpoint, I'm sure it does, but why did I never know this?
yeah, we need
Yeah,
more Blizzard games, please, Scandinavia.
Correct. Just deal with it.
yeah. This Garden team, they're currently 11th in the league with 2 goals scored and 3 given up.
And
So
they're from Stockholm. I've been to
yeah,
Stockholm, and I don't remember that damn team.
I meant to ask you about that. I knew you had been there, but yeah,
Well,
I've never heard of this
IAK is
either.
the team. AIK is the team.
Right,
I
that's what
didn't
I'm
realize they had
familiar with
another
as
one.
well.
Yeah.
And Hammerby as well in Malmo. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
There's been a few Americans at Hammerby actually. I think the Bradleys might have been there, Bob and Michael. Anyways,
Solskjaer was at Malmo.
was he? I
Have
think
you seen have you seen how
Zlatan
he's
was as well.
have you seen how he's turned around the team he took over? I cannot think of who
Yeah, where is he?
he took over off the top of my head, but they're actually doing pretty well.
Is he in Turkey? I don't know. But yeah, I think you should probably at least start Palmer, start those guys, get them 45, 50 minutes, get up 2-0, and then you can
Yeah. Why
rotate
take a chance? Put him in there.
and
He's
sub his
at
ass out. He
he's
hasn't
at
scored in a long time, so I mean, we're relatively healthy now, so we got to get these guys in somewhat of a motion for this last month of the season. So,
Yep.
and Nico Jackson's back, which he has not been in your conference league. So
You
we'll
hope for an
probably line
early,
up differently.
you should hope for an early goal. That would be
Yep.
helpful for you.
I'm thinking it's going to be early in both halves, and then who knows? We might hit a corner kick that gets headed in for a 3-0, and we give up a late bullshit goal because we've been known to fall asleep in these conference league matches towards the end, and that team's still fighting their asses off because it's a home match for them. They're playing a big club, and so they can always scrap one in here or there. But if we get out of there 2-0, 3-1, I feel fine.
Yep.
Anything other than that, failure.
Right.
Solskjaer's at Besiktas,
Yeah,
Besiktas? He's in
which
Turkey?
is
he's in Turkey,
Turkey. Yeah,
man.
the Turkey League, I believe.
Brave
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah, he is a brave soul.
I bet
Isn't
him and
Mourinho
Jose
at
meet up for
Fenerbahce?
drinks. Yeah.
No, Mourinho's at Galatasaray, right?
Mourinho's at no, he's at Fenerbahce.
His
Fenerbahce.
his mouth's getting him close to killed there.
Yeah. He's a yeah, Solskjaer's got him up to fourth.
There you go.
Do they get two qualifying spots for Champions League?
Uh,
I know they don't get four.
no, definitely not four. I have no idea.
Superliga. It'd be interesting. They get yeah. Oh, they only get one. Shit. He's out of luck then. Never mind. But
But
yeah, I think we advance in our leg, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's in Turkey, so screw him.
All right, so we're all final. Great.
Yeah. So you guys think you guys are going to advance through this two leg? Well, I guess it's better to
I
ask you
do.
after.
I mean, like I
Probably
said,
best to ask you next week after the first leg happens.
it's all about, like I said, I guess these players will come back for the second leg, and they're going to be, if they've been rolling through some teams like Lazio, I mean, who knows?
That
So,
was impressive, man.
yeah. So, yeah, like Alan said, they play very open and creative and free, but I think Spurs do better against teams like that. Not Liverpool, but teams that can be had, to where there's enough space that opens up because they're willing to risk things, and that helps us move the ball up the pitch. So we'll
yeah,
see.
it will be interesting. Yeah, I think the first leg will kind of show a lot of
Yeah.
just how both of our teams are gonna go. Obviously, Tottenham has a bit of a easier chance and matchup. But yeah, I don't know. I'm fairly worried just because they Athletic have so much to play for because they want to be in the final since they're hosting it.
They're a
Yeah.
good
So I
club.
think they're going to be, and they're a good team. They're fourth
Yeah.
in La Liga, so they have a lot to play for. They're good. Yeah, so United haven't exactly in recent form, other than the Europa matches, really filled themselves with confidence. Getting at least a draw away at Bournemouth was something.
Yeah.
Hoyland
Late
finally
late
scored,
goal from your boy.
broke
Yeah.
his duck for like 18, 17 matches, something crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But like I said, for whatever reason, recently, over the last couple of seasons, going away to Spain hasn't proven as bad as it has before that. Because our record before that in Spain was pretty bad. But for whatever reason, the last couple of seasons in Europa hasn't been too bad. So maybe that trend will continue. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of worried. It'll be tough. We'll see. Um,
You guys probably aren't looking too much to your Premier League matchups these
I
days, are
don't
you?
care.
could
We
care
play
less.
West Ham. West Ham on Sunday. I don't care.
Yeah,
So I'm
could
the only
care.
one sweating this out still. Damn.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, Trent, what's your prediction for Champions League spots?
Well, shit, like you said, I don't even know who Liverpool's gonna, line up against us on Sunday. So, dude, if we get 3 points there, that would be huge. I know Wolves plays City on Friday. I don't know if people are aware, but Wolves, I think, have the second best record in Europe
The best. I'm
after
pretty sure they have the best.
February, maybe, or January.
I thought they
They're
had the
hot.
best
That's
in Europe.
it's something they're either the best or the second best. It's them and like PSG in their respective leagues.
Hmm.
Wolves are in the finest form,
Their
probably up there.
manager is fiery. He's good.
They're I think they already re-signed him, right? They gave him
Uh, they should.
full deal. Yeah, he's got them flying high. So I'm like, do I have to think about Wolves getting a result tomorrow at City? Because I need that.
But
City's kind of been on the up.
City's been playing really well lately
Yeah.
And they've been
compared to
playing
the
well
rest of their
too.
season.
Yep.
But yeah, so this Wolves manager has kind of created some extra pressure on Amram because Wolves play a similar system to what Amram does, and he's completely granted, I, I don't know. You could kind of argue the systems they've played have been not too far off from this, but the system, United with Ten Hag came from was quite a bit different than what Amram's doing now. But still, Wolves, like I said, like you said, I mean, have completely turned around one of the hottest teams in Europe, and
Hmm.
Amarim has just never seemed to really get it going at United. So a lot of people have been questioning, like, well, Is it really the players or is it Amarim? Like what's going on?
The
But
whole
it's
culture. It's just like Spurs. It's the whole culture.
I
It,
think it's still the players
well,
over I agree it is the whole culture and it's a mixture of things, but I think overall it's the players. But then you argue, I mean, are Wolves players really that much better than United players? I
right.
mean, how have they been
His
able to turn it
Opinion.
around? And
Yeah.
yeah,
his manager career, I'm looking up on FotMob, is wild, by the way. Vitor Pereira is his name. He has been at FC Porto, Olympiacos, Fenerbahce, 1860 Munich, Shanghai Port, Fenerbahce again, Brazil, and then he was in Saudi Arabia before Wolves.
All
This
right.
guy's been all over, man.
Yeah, he's been around the world.
He has been all over. But yeah, he's got them flying high. But to your original question,
man, you guys are within five.
Champions League.
Villa, Forest, Chelsea City, and Newcastle are all within 5 points of each other. But
Yep, we got a,
specifically, Forest to Newcastle are all within 2 points.
that's where it is. Newcastle City, Chelsea, Forest, and Villa has got a game, or sorry, Forest has got a game in
A
hand
game in
on.
hand. Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
Villa's had a lot of games. I think they're
they
like
have.
So
retired.
Forest could jump to third with that game in hand. Wow.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like live tables each weekend, Champions League spots. Like we'll bounce from third. I'm like, hell yeah, we're in it. Boom, back down to Europe. We're in sixth by noon. So
And
I
then
would I would think Newcastle probably they're hot as well right now, and they only have the league to play for. So they're deep and they're healthy. You got to think they probably take a spot. They're what 1 point up on City, two on Chelsea. So I got to watch their matches just like I watch mine at this moment. Like I said, I think it's between us and Forest fighting it out for this last Champions League spot.
You know what I don't want to know? What my predictions were in episode one. I don't even want to know.
Newcastle's away to Brighton this weekend. That could get tricky. Brighton's kind of fallen off from where they were. I know they've kicked our ass the past few years away, so I don't know if Newcastle
Alan,
lo-
you're on mute now.
oh, shit. I don't know if Newcastle drops any points there or not, but yeah, we host Liverpool on Sunday, so if
can you
they
guys hear me
could,
now?
Yeah,
Am I
you're
back?
yeah,
back.
you're good.
It was so
Dave,
nice.
I think I predicted Spurs third and United
Oh,
fourth. So that's how far off I
that's
was.
Spursy.
I don't think I
That's
had that,
awful.
but I mean, I probably wasn't far off.
I think you had United fifth,
I had them
Trent.
in Europa.
I think
I
so.
don't think I had them in Champions League. That sounds about right.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
What we'll have to do, look back at those and also I think, kind of get some top players, like maybe an all-star team or something like that. Who was a surprise players of the year, that kind of stuff. Give
Sure.
out give out some trophies, you
Give
know.
out our player of the year, manager of the year,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Bust of the year.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we
Well,
submit full teams for busts of the year?
yeah. Hands are up.
$1 billion busts.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. I don't know about you. I'm just looking forward to these matches tomorrow and next week.
Um, yeah, dude.
I'm kind of looking forward to them. We'll see.
We got a Champions League, CONCACAF Champions Cup tonight. Miami and Vancouver play
Okay.
on the second leg. This is at Miami, so it'll probably be fireworks. But Vancouver beat them 2-0 last week in Vancouver. One goal was scored by U.S. hopeful Brian White, who leads Major League Soccer in goals right now.
Brian.
Hoping this guy gets called up to the Gold Cup because we are in a striker crisis right now with injuries. But Josh Sargent did make the championship team
Yeah, I
tonight.
made the team, the All-Star team. Good for
And
him.
the other goal scorer was Sebastian Berhalter
Oh boy.
against Lionel Messi's Inter Miami.
Oh
So
wow.
uh, aggregates 2-0 to Vancouver, and it's in Miami tonight. So I'll be tuning in here
Beer
then.
halter top son.
He's actually pretty good, dude. I'm not gonna lie. He's a box to box midfielder,
Wow.
and he's been putting in some good performances. So I'll be interested to see if his name starts surfacing around some rumors about call ups because
Well, he must be young
they'll
then.
lose their shit. He's been in the MLS for a little bit, but yeah, he's not too old.
Hey,
But yeah, that's on tonight. So everyone,
shout out to my Timbers. They're like
yeah,
they're like 8-1-1 over the last 2 months in the MLS. Like they've turned it around. They were pretty up and down. Now they've done some things and they've I think found some form. Their
Oh
only
yeah.
loss came to Nashville back in April 8th. Otherwise, they've gotten draws and wins.
Dude, they can score goals, man. That's one thing they can do.
They just beat Galaxy 4-2.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite players, Royce, scored for Galaxy.
Oh
But
yeah, Marco Royce. I think that might have been his first MLS goal,
oh,
but
was it? Was it his first?
he hasn't really kicked it off. But yeah, Portland's been playing well. Miami's been playing well. Charlotte's been playing well. Cincinnati, Columbus,
Last time, I mean, this was probably
Dallas.
like 6 weeks ago. I checked the table, and Portland was in like, I don't know, seventh or sixth. They're
Yeah.
all the way up to second in the Western Conference now. So,
I feel like every Major League Soccer season, Phil Neville comes out with some quote at the beginning of the season, just bashing his club for some horrible loss they have like early in the season, and they turn around for like the next 10 weeks and they make the damn playoffs. So we'll
yeah,
see.
I think they only made it in last year as like an eighth or seventh seed. So they kind of
Oh,
were mid.
I was gonna say about 9 teams per conference make the playoffs, so that might be not too much, but
Right.
yeah. Yeah, no, they're playing well though, and the LA Galaxy are the worst team in the league somehow, and they
Oh,
won
they
one
are.
last
Wow.
year. Yeah, they haven't won a match.
They haven't won a match.
They're banged up, but
Neither is Montreal in the
they had to
Eastern
sell some dudes
Conference.
off. They had to sell some guys off, and they're still injured. So that's just the parity of the MLS for you right there. You never know each year.
Cincinnati's first in the Eastern Conference. Okay.
Solid squad. Pat
Aren't they new?
Noonan?
Aren't they new to the MLS?
Maybe like
Cincinnati, no, 3 or 4 years.
been about five or
Well, sorry,
six.
newer.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Is it 6 seasons now? Oh,
Maybe
okay.
like 5 or 6. Yeah, man. Um,
You can tell how much I watch MLS. So.
man, it's hard to. I know it is. Everybody I talk to is like, I'd love to watch it. I just can't. I
With
have that
everything
app.
else.
Yeah, I have that Apple TV thing. Otherwise, there's no way I'd be able to consume all this information because you have to go find this MLS stuff mainly.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
but the Apple TV thing really hooks it up. But tonight's game's on Fox Sports One. This
Okay.
CONCACAF Champions stuff, that'll all be on your local broadcasts. And every week, like once a week, there's a local MLS or not local MLS game, but it's on your local Fox channel just over the air. So they at least get one match out a week. Um, we'll
I,
see.
I do
Well,
try to
good.
tune in when I see it on FS1 because I'm not doing the Apple MLS Pass thing.
I had it free through
So,
my cell phone provider. So
oh, that's cool.
yeah, I was like, hell yeah, I'll get that.
Hey, last thing, notable matchups for the EPL this weekend. We got Villa and Fulham on Saturday at 6:30, bright and early.
Go Fulham! Go Fulham! Go!
Arsenal and Bournemouth later on that Saturday. United and Brentford play on Sunday. I'm hoping for another 1-1. Brighton and Newcastle. That should be kind of fun. Completely different kind of ways of playing.
Come on,
Yeah.
Brighton. Come on, Brighton.
And then, like you said, Dave, you guys play West Ham. And then the
Oh,
big
that's going to
one,
be so fucking ugly.
the big one
West
is
Ham's
is
really bad.
Oh,
West Ham's worse than both of y'all's
we're
clubs
right
this
there
season.
and
next to
that's
them in the
saying
table.
something. That's saying
And
something.
you guys are having all-time bad seasons, and they're just right below y'all.
Oh, I don't even want to watch it. If we win Thursday tomorrow, then it'll matter less what happens on Sunday.
Sure.
But still, it's
Where's the
West
Spurs
Ham.
Tottenham match?
We're,
Where's it at? You
Oh,
get
I
two.
sorry. I just had it, but I
You
didn't
get two
see.
home matches and 2 wins. That's a good weekend there. Y'all
It's
could
in London. It's in London. I know that.
have. Thanks for that, Alan.
it's at West Ham.
Right down the road.
What a
Uh,
setup.
They're terrible though.
I don't care. So are we. And they always get up. They always get up for Spurs because we're the two teams in London that are at least halfway good size and can't win anything. Well, they won the conference, so
Tottenham is 16th with a plus
well,
six goal differential. It
yeah.
makes no sense. This is the
Go find the
weirdest.
algorithm for that.
This is the weirdest table I've ever seen.
It is stupid.
All right, guys. Good stuff. Good episode.
Okay.
Let's
All
hope
right.
all
Few
our teams win tomorrow.